with you. Okay, cool. I'm actually live. Hello. So tonight I want to talk about self concept, and I'm going to talk about it in terms of some popular TV shows. So let me know if you are watching some of these TV shows. If you're not, I'm going to give you like kind of like a brief summary and opportunity to kind of break down the self concept issue in a way that's really fun and that listen, TV is not the best, right? We know is not the best. It kind of numbs, it kind of distracts us. But when we're intentional about TV, we can actually learn some lessons. And I should probably introduce my cat. This is Finley. Hello, Finley. So, 3 TV shows. There's a TV show on HBO called Our Flag Means Death. Let me know if you've watched that. There's another show called Winning Time, and it's about the LA Lakers. And then there's another show very popular called Peaky Blinders. So put in the chat, put in the comments if you have watched any of these shows. And what I'm going to do is put on some of my essential oils and plug in my phone. Plug in my phone because I realized as I was setting up, I didn't plug in my phone. And those of you coming on YouTube, Facebook, say hey, let me know what's going on. I'm going to make a special announcement here, but I want to do some teaching in a really fun way first. I didn't plan on going live today, but I had a really great breath work workshop today that kind of like opened me up. It was absolutely amazing. And for those of you who don't know me, welcome. My name is Cami. I'm an intuitive life coach for people pleasers and perfectionists, and self-concept is huge. Self-concept is huge. Hi, Lucy. Beautiful. Okay. I need to take a moment to plug in my phone, but those of you who are on Facebook, if you haven't heard this yet, let me know if you've heard of these 3 TV shows because I'm going to be talking about them. Our Flag Means Death, which is a pirate show, Winning Time, which is about the LA Lakers, and then the last one is Peaky Blinders. So those are the 3 I'm going to talk about. Okay. I just need to make sure my phone is plugged in because the battery will drain. Okay. So I want to talk to you first about Our Flag Means Death. It's a funny show. It's funny. My husband introduced me to it. It's actually based on true events, right? Obviously it's funny. Obviously it's comical, and it's not real, right? It's not real in the sense that everything actually happened, but it is about this elite, like a lord. I don't know what time frame this was. I actually forget, but let's just say early 1900s, 1800s. I don't know. Back in the day when you had to sail on ships, whatever that was. And this gentleman who was actually rich, well-to-do, had a family, decided that he wanted to leave his family and go off and be a pirate. Okay. Now, and that's the premise. And what happened is he was known as the gentleman pirate. And he actually kept a journal of being the gentleman pirate. And he took pride in that. So what did that look like? It looked like, right, when you think of pirates, you think of somebody who's like and like very grungy and dirty. And like in our day, they're wearing leather and they've got a hook and like they fit the mold of what a pirate would look like. But he actually showed up as a gentleman pirate. So he had books on his ship. He had a whole library. He had all the fancy clothes. He had the best food. And he actually like took really good care of his crew, and he wanted to talk about feelings, right? And the comical thing about this is, right, they kind of make it funny because he's so different than the other pirates. But what ends up happening is he becomes friends with Blackbeard, right? And in the show, right, which is fictionalized, but in the show, Blackbeard is like, oh, wow, like you kind of showed me a different way. You've shown me a different side of myself. But the reason why I love the self concept of the gentleman pirate is because he's being who he is, right? He's like, I want to live a life of adventure. I want to be a pirate. I want to go off and do this thing. He took action. He did the thing, but he didn't let what other people said, or he didn't let other people's judgments get in the way of how he felt about himself. He was very clear on like, this is how I want to be doing my pirating thing. These are the types of clothes that I want to wear. This is how I want to treat my crew. And he was secure in who he was. So I love that and I respect it so much, to the point that he actually started influencing other people, right? He influenced Blackbeard. And what was so interesting is Blackbeard in the show, he had to fit this mold, right? He had to fit this mold of the societal expectation, which was like this masculine, I've got to do it this way and I've got to be scary. And he started to get bored and unfulfilled because he wasn't living in his truth. He wasn't actually being who he really was. But when he met the gentleman pirate, that gave him permission to become who he really was. So, why do I bring this up? I want to make a special announcement right here along with this story. I'm going to share two more stories very quickly here today, but I want to make a special announcement as well, because one of the things that we work on in coaching together in one-on-one coaching is self-concept. I also call this potential self or identity. Why is this important? Because we all have goals. We all have a dream. We all want something. But one of the biggest things that we need to come up against is self-awareness, right? Like, what are those limiting beliefs that are holding us back? What judgments do we have? What fears do we have? What stories are we playing out? And what roles are we playing? And what molds are we playing into based on society's expectations? So, what we do in coaching, and this is my special announcement, I've actually opened up 4 spots for 3-month coaching. And why this is so amazing is because you can go so far with working on your self-concept in just 3 months. What we do is we start off with identity, right? Or with self-awareness. Then we move into identity. Who do you want to be? What is the person? What do they do? How do they act? What do they believe whenever they have the thing that they want? So let me give you another example here, okay? And if you're one of these people who's like, tell me more about this self-concept, tell me more about this identity piece, I'm going to keep talking about it. But I want to let you know, I have a special opportunity just now. Normally, I work with my clients for 6 months or a year, right? And we're really working on something, and we want to really move into that vision and create it. But I wanted to do something special this summer for someone who maybe has never done coaching before, or maybe they've done some coaching and they just need a tune-up. They need to work on something really intensely for 12 weeks and get the result. That is what I'm offering for you. So if you're like, hey, this excites me, this is something I want to pursue, I want to know more about it, send me a message right now and let me know if that's you. We can chat about what your goals are, and we can talk about this identity and self-concept piece. All right. I realized I plugged my phone in. Hi, Stephanie. I realized I plugged my phone in, but I didn't plug my phone in. So let me plug my phone in on the back end. Oh, I see. Okay. It was plugged in. It just was a loose cable. Okay. So number 2, let's talk about basketball. The basketball visionary. I don't know anything about the Lakers. I don't know anything about Jerry Buss at all, but I started watching the show. And the show is called Winning Time. And it's like the rise of the Lakers. And what's so interesting about this show is that, first of all, I don't like the actor. I don't like the main actor. I forget who it is, but he's the guy who's not Will Ferrell that is in Step Brothers. And I just don't like him. I don't prefer him as an actor. So, but what's amazing about his character that he plays, which is Jerry Buss, which is a real live human being, not alive anymore, unfortunately, but he believed in basketball, in the NBA in the 70s when it was not good. It wasn't a good thing. It wasn't popular, right? The teams weren't good. They were losing money, all this stuff. What's so interesting about him and the character he plays is he is so certain, and he takes huge risks based on the fact that he knows he's going to figure it out. He kind of bluffs his way into getting deals and getting money and making partnerships because of his self-confidence. And that means all the people around him are basically saying, don't do this. Don't buy this team. You're crazy. You're ridiculous. We're losing money. We can't do this, right? Like his bookkeeper is saying, you don't have money to do this. And he's saying, it's going to be fine. I'm going to do it. We're making this investment, because he held on to the vision. He had a vision for what he was creating. Why is that important? This is the second piece of what I teach in my one-on-one coaching, is when you have a vision for the future and you can feel it, you can taste it, smell it, you can breathe it in. You don't let anybody else's opinions influence you. You don't let their fear influence you. In fact, your certainty is contagious. So what's going on in the world right now? A lot of fear, right? A lot of fear. People are fearful. But when we are in our own power, when we are in our own certainty, we know who we are in our identity, we know what we're creating with our vision, then we take those actions and it doesn't matter. We have our blinders on, we have our ears closed, and we're focused, right? We have the blinders on like a racehorse or like a horse with those blinders. We are focused on the vision. So why I love that so much is because there's times in the show where like everything's going to crap and he was about to, and I don't know how much of this is a dramatization, but in the show they were about to go play like a big game. They spent all this money on the dancers, the bar, the club, the lights, the sound system, all of it, right? And the bank who had loaned him the money was basically like, you need to start paying back the loan tomorrow. And he didn't have the money. He was about to go bankrupt, right? Like he had no money to pay this loan back, but he had a vision that this team was going to win. They were going to sell out the seats. They were going to make, $3 million. And he sat down at the table with them before they were about to do their big like game the very next day. And he talked to the bankers and said, I'm giving you an opportunity to invest in me. That's how certain he was in himself. Now, that's not to say he didn't have times where he was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? But he had this community of people around him, right? He had his best friend that basically acted as that support system to say, you can do it. Yes, we're going to do this. So that's the other lesson I have here is having someone beside you, preferably someone who's a coach and who's not your friend. And here's why, because part of this time, right? Like part of this, what happened with him and his best friend was like, his best friend was like, I'm done. I'm out. I can't be a part of this anymore. Like, because he was like, I can't take on this much risk, as much risk as you're taking. You're believing and I can't believe, right? So the reason I want to talk about having a friend as a cheerleader or as your person or a family member as a person is they might bow out. They might leave. They might just say, this is too much for me, right? They're not on the hook for your success versus a coach is on the hook for your success. You're paying them to show up for you, to hold space for you, to hold the vision and the belief for you whenever you waver on your vision and your belief, right? So that's the second piece. And then the third piece, so I talked about, what was the third one I was going to talk about? Oh, Peaky Blinders. If you've watched any of these shows, put them in the comments below as well, because I've been watching them and it's been really fun to look. Anytime I watch a show, I like to try to get the essence of it, right? And I like to watch the characters and see what the lessons are. So the third one is Peaky Blinders. And Peaky Blinders is violent. So if you don't like violence and you don't like gangster stuff, you may not like it. But here's why I like it, right? This is how it helped me to think of self-concept. So the main character in Peaky Blinders is named Tommy or Tom. And he is a street gang, basically like in the 19, it's based again on a real street gang, but obviously it's completely like the storyline is completely made up and dramatized. But in the show, he is one of the brothers, and I believe he's like the middle brother, right? Where typically the older brother like is in charge, but Tommy is in charge because he has the most certainty. What I love about his character is, and they keep talking about it over and over and over again, is that he has no limitations in his mind. So what does this mean? And again, when I'm talking about these characters, I'm talking about one facet of their personalities because each of these characters have faults, just like each of us have strengths and weaknesses. But when we're looking at what does it take to be successful? What does it take to reach your goal? What does it take to have inner peace? It's this sense of self-concept that you can handle anything, that you're resourceful, that you'll figure it out, that you will have the support that you need, that you're already the person that has it. You can feel into the energy of that, right? And you can act as if it's already done. So that's what Tommy does, right? A lot of times he gets himself in these crazy situations. And at the time, kind of like everybody, and I don't know the history again, my husband could tell you more about the history, but at the time, there was all these different groups of people who were kind of fighting against each other and they were all trying to gain power, right? As street gangs do. And what would happen is he would kind of manipulate the situation where he would have a meeting with someone, have a meeting with someone else, like basically lie to them, right? Like I'm not condoning that. But what I love about the energy of what he did was he always could see farther ahead, and he always knew that when he sat down at the table, the person was going to say yes. So this comes back to certainty. This comes back to self-concept, but it also comes back to that vision of the future, right? Like, what is it that I'm going to create in life? And it's really interesting too, because although he was this gangster on one side, right? He did bad things. He also was so aligned with his values. And why is that important? Our values is what helps us make decisions. And for him, although he was kind of like this bad guy in the streets, he loved his family. Like family was first. He always took care of his brother. His brother was, off doing drugs and, being a hot mess, but he was always there for his brother. He always put that family first. And he really valued giving back. So even though he would still steal money and do all the things, he would also make sure that he would give back to the poor, and he would create housing, right? So the reason I bring that up is because these are the three pillars of creating the life that you want. It's that self-concept or the identity piece. It's the vision. It's the certainty of your self-concept. And then it's the values, like the values that help you make decisions every single day. So when you're watching TV, kind of the message is, don't just watch it to numb out, right? Notice if TV is distracting you. I took out TV all of the month of May because it was a distraction. It wasn't giving me anything. And now that I came back into watching TV, I wanted to be more intentional about it. And that's what actually gave me the idea to say, this is the season. We're halfway through the year. And this is usually the time when people are having their breakdowns. What are breakdowns? Well, breakdowns are when you're looking at the rest of the year. You're saying, I only have 6 months left. I thought I was going to start this new fitness program. I thought my business was going to be a certain way. I thought my relationships would feel a different way. I thought I would be making more money. I thought, maybe I would have more inner peace, or I'd be doing yoga at this point. So this is a reflection time in your year to say, where am I at? Like, what did I intend at the beginning of the year? What do I want? What's my vision for the end of the year? And then this is just a great time to reset. So this gave me the idea to say, listen, why don't I do something special for people in the summer, right? It's summer here in the Northern Hemisphere. Those people, my Australian friends, it's their winter time. But I'm doing this for the month of June through September. And what I'm offering is 3 months of coaching. This is really important because normally I have longer coaching packages, but I wanted to give you something that's kind of short and intense, and it's going to get you results quickly. We're going to work through all of those 3 things: your self-concept, your identity, which allows you to have certainty in the life that you're creating. We create your vision the whole way out to 10 years, your 10-year vision. What is it that you see yourself doing in 10 years? So that every decision you make is aligned and moving in the direction of your vision. And then thirdly, we work on your values. Your values is how you live your life each day. So for my perfectionists or my recovering perfectionists, this helps you to set yourself up for success every day, to say, what did I do today? Did I get all the laundry done? No. Did I get everything done on my to-do list? No. But did I live in my values? Did I demonstrate love, kindness, and compassion today? If that's a yes, then we did it. Or even if you were just 1% moving in the direction of that, then we did it. And then for my people-pleasing clients, I do the same thing. If you're trying to step into more power and feeling powerful and setting boundaries, we use your values to help set your boundaries. So I have a few opportunities for you. I have 4 spots that I'm opening up through the end of this month. So if you're watching it is June 26th, and I have 4 spots open and available to come on board before the end of June. We will start our coaching in July, and we will work July, August, September. So I want you to imagine going into September, right? Which is kind of going into the end of the year. Imagine if you could have already created that result that you said you wanted to create. Imagine if you could create it in less time. Imagine if you could show up with more confidence, more certainty, more faith, and belief in what it is that you want to create. Imagine if you showed up in the room like some of these people that I talked about, being the most certain person in the room, whether you're a gentleman pirate, whether you're a basketball visionary or whether you're kind of this gangster dude who sees himself with no limitations, but also really takes care of family and really takes care of the community, right? Just imagine those avatars, okay? And if I could wave a magic wand for you and you could have anything within the next 3 months, I really want you to do this and type this in the chat. What would that be? You can think about tangibly, what would I want? Would I want a new job? Would I want a new relationship or better relationship? Would I want a certain amount of money in the bank? Would I want my body to look and feel a certain way? And then last but not least, how do you want to wake up feeling? How do you want to go to bed at night feeling? How do you want to wake up in the morning feeling? Because every goal that we set is based on the belief that it's going to make us feel a certain way. But what I can help you with in a short amount of time is your ability to feel those emotions, inner peace, self-confidence, self-love at a deep level so that that just becomes part of who you are. And that is now your new self-concept. That is how you walk in the world, so that you're not wavering back and forth from these extreme emotions of feeling this self-doubt and having a breakdown. We want to get you through those breakdowns quicker and through into a breakthrough, right? You're not in a bad spot if you're experiencing a breakdown. Breakdowns always lead to breakthroughs, but think about if you had the support of someone who is there for you every single week, talks to you for an hour on the phone, you get your thoughts super clear, you walk away from that call with certainty, you walk out into the world with that visionary mindset, you're standing knowing no limitations, you're believing in everything that you're creating in your life. Imagine the power that you walk out into the world with. Not only does this affect you and your life, it simultaneously affects everyone around you because they start to say, wow, they start to become attracted to what you are, your energy, your vibe, because of your belief in yourself. And they want to get around that energy. They want to come alongside you and maybe help you with your vision and what you want to create in the world. It becomes a really cool way to play in life, and you become a leader because you've mastered these skills of being able to manage your energy, manage your emotions, manage your brain, and to be able to actually take consistent action so you can reach your goal. Most of the time, this is what I see with my clients. They're having fear regarding being visible or being seen. So I helped a client recently with getting a job interview. She was afraid to show up. She was afraid to be seen. She was afraid to share about herself and be her authentic self. She was afraid to own her power and say, hey, I have an MBA, right? On paper, that looks great, but you have to believe in the power of your credentials. You have to believe in the power of your experience so you can walk out with that self-concept. I've worked with clients who have tons and tons of education and experience, but their self-concept has not matched up with their reality of their self-worth and how powerful they are in the world. I've also helped people coming out of relationship, codependency. What does that look like? It looks like people pleasing. It looks like putting your power outside of yourself, looking to others to say, you're doing a good job. You're okay. You're doing great, and validating you. And what that does is always you're looking to other people to tell us that we're good enough. So when we go to sleep at night, we're still questioning, am I enough? Did I do enough today? I don't know. I'm really uncertain. So over 12 weeks, I can help you with stepping into that certainty, taking your own power back so that you can be that person who wakes up like, you know what? I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what to say today. I know exactly what actions I'm going to take. I know exactly who I'm going to talk to. I feel confident. I'm focused on my vision. And I'm no longer allowing these people to walk all over me, treat me like a doormat, say mean things to me, right? Start unfollowing friends on Facebook, start setting boundaries with family, start walking in that power that you know is truly for you. Okay. So I am going to wrap this up soon here, but I wanted to let you know how to reach out to me to book a consult. That's the first step to find out if we are a good match. And what happens on the consult is truly me walking you through the process. So you'll come to me and say, hey, here's what's going on, and here's what I want. So this is what my challenges are. This is what I want to create. And then what's really interesting is a lot of times the client will come to me with, I think this is what the problem is. They're like, I know what to do, but I just have to do it. Well, yeah, that's everybody's thought. But why are you not doing it is deeper, right? It's deeper on one of those levels of self-concept, of your vision, and of the thoughts that are driving every single decision. So that's what we figure out on the consult. And then you'll know exactly, hey, this is how we're going to work together using these three components. It works for everyone every single time. Even after the consultation, you're going to feel lifetimes better because you have the actual clarity of like, oh, this is actually really a simple thing. I've been having problems with this thing for 20, 30 years, but actually I can fix this really quickly with following this process. That's really awesome. It's awesome to know there's a quick and easy solution. This doesn't take years. It doesn't take years of therapy. It doesn't take years of releasing trauma and healing, right? That's another belief that we have that holds us back for getting what we want. A lot of my clients think I need to be fully healed. I need to go back and talk about all my childhood stuff in order to have what I want. That's actually a false notion that's keeping you safe, right? It wants to keep you safe because we don't want to be seen. So we dig through all of that stuff. We come up with new beliefs, new feelings, so that you can actually take actions and have what you want now, not in the future someday when you feel like you're completely healed. Because here's the truth. In this now moment, you are completely worthy. You are completely healed. You are completely enough to have everything that you want. All the work is for you to become a match to it. And the way you become a match to it is just through your thoughts and feelings, your predominant thoughts, your predominant feelings. That's it. Your thoughts and feelings are going to drive your actions. And that's why coaching for a short amount of time, 12 weeks at a time, is going to drive your actions progressively to take more action in a constrained window of time, right? We can actually do a lot in 90 days when we are constrained and we're consistently taking action on it. So the way to reach out, I've got 4 spots for this. I'm booking through the end of this month. Reach out and just send me a message that says consult. We'll start to have a chat in the DMs. I'll ask you a few questions. Then we can hop on a quick call. That call will break everything down for you. At the end of that call, there's no obligation. You can just decide, yeah, this is something I want to do. Let's do it. I'm all in. Or you can say, you know what? Thank you. I'm on my way. But the power of the consult is you stepping into, this is what I want to create. I want to get really clear on it. I want to get clear on how to do it. And this is why it's so exciting to have a coach. The misconception so often is, I hear people say this, yeah, my friend needs a coach, like they're a mess. No, that's not what this is. I help people who are powerful, strong, smart, completely capable, high achievers, doing really well in their life. They want to go to their next level. That just takes a self-concept boost. That just takes really focusing on the vision. So I want you to equate coaching with a privilege and an opportunity that we get to have to work on 1% shifts over the course of a few months to take you into that quantum leap into the next level. So send me a message that says consult. We will book a consult. We'll talk all about your goals. And then the second thing I want to let you know is I'm hosting a vision board workshop this week. So if you you're already a little bit like, you know what? I don't even know what I want to create. Let's start there. I have a vision board workshop this week. So if you're like, you know what? Let me start with the vision board. I'm doing it on Thursday. Send me a message that says vision, and I'll know that you want to come onto the vision board workshop, and we'll start there. That's going to give you a taste of the work that we'll do together for 12 weeks. Those are your 2 options that you can do by the end of June. And I hope this gave you some insight, like some things to think about and to start reflecting about your own self-concept. And just think, these are the things I want. If I already had them, how would I feel? How would I think about myself? What I believe? And that's the work that we do together, right? Because here's what's interesting. You know what you would feel, you know what you would believe, but the problem is your brain keeps dragging you back to the past failure, to the time you couldn't do it, and it keeps telling your old story, rewind. And so what we do is we reprogram the brain by working together on those thoughts every single week. And then I give you tools and exercises that you can do on your own time or not, right? You don't have homework per se, but my clients that are most successful create a beautiful morning routine, a beautiful evening routine, and they prioritize themselves in their life for the next 12 weeks. That looks different for everyone. For my moms out there who are super busy, that looks like 3 minutes of meditation. That looks like a silent prayer. That looks like going to the bathroom, locking yourself in there and doing some quick breath work. This doesn't take a lot of time. It's not hard. So if any of those thoughts are coming up for you, I welcome you and invite you to get on a consultation, because that's where you're going to see this is so fun. Like, it is so fun to have a coach. It feels so good to know you're supported, especially when you're going through a breakdown, but even more especially when you have a big vision and you're excited, nervous, anxious about it, and you have all these feelings. Working with a coach helps you to borrow that belief. And I can share stories of my past clients. I could share stories from what I've created. You will come away with a higher belief in your potential and your possibility. And you will see evidence showing up in your life from the actions that you're taking, from this deep sense of self-concept and self-worth. All right. That is all for today. Head over to my website if you want to check out any more, or send me a DM right now saying consult or vision. And my website is coachcami.com, so that way you can head over to there and you can also book a consult over there. Bye.